You think, can there be a wrong obedience, or we should obey? Because obedience now is guiding us all. So what do you think?
Of course there can be a wrong obedience, because the fathers of the church and Thomas Aquinas wrote, there cannot be an absolute obedience towards creatures. Mm-hmm. An absolute obedience is only possible towards God. Yeah. To all creatures, let it be the Pope or the Bishop, we can only have, or our parents, we can only have a relative obedience. What does mean a relative? Not an absolute. Why? Because sometimes even as ecclesiastical superior, even a Pope, a Bishop, and also parents, they can give an order to their subjects which can be contrary to God, to God's commandment. So if, for example, the parents command the children to commit a sin, they have to refuse this obedience.
They can resist.
And they must resist. If the bishop is asking you to give Holy Communion to public, unrepented sinners, this is a sin. You cannot do this. This will be a wrong obedience. Mm-hmm. If a bishop is commanding you to hand over the Lord in the Holy Eucharist in the hands of people with the evident, undeniable fact that small fragments of the Holy Host are dropping down on the floor and then trampled by feet, you cannot do as a priest to obey to a bishop such a commandment in order to give our Lord in the hands and then to be trampled by the feet. It is impossible.
It's a desacralization.
And you cannot also, let us say, be obedient to an order, even if a pope will order you to make, let us say, an interreligious prayer with, let us say, people who reject Holy Trinity. Mm-hmm. To pray with them who publicly reject the Holy Trinity. You cannot pray together with them. Or you cannot pray together with idolaters, let us say, who adore idols, like the Hinduist religion. They have so many idols, I mean. And when a pope says to you, a bishop and priest, you have to join an interreligious prayer meeting, it is against the first commandment of God, and this is a sin, and you cannot obey. And when you will obey it, it's a wrong obedience. Yeah. And when you are now participating in such ambiguous, evidently meetings or synodal meetings, I think in my conscience I cannot participate, seeing already the structures and the aims of the documents which are ambiguous.
Sure. What do you think about pushing towards a new world religion? Because this is very scary today.
This is evident. We are witnessing since the process of the French Revolution already. A slow process of establishing a new, pure, humanistic religion. Yeah. Contrary to the divine revelation, the unique divine revelation, which is Jesus Christ. And so it is a movement to make a religion, a new religion of relativism, of a supermarket of religions. This is true, we are observing this, and then basically to proclaim as the main contents and objects of worship and creatures, not more God, yes, but creatures. Let us say the nature, Mother Earth, Pachamama, or to adore human being himself, to adore man, and not more God. And this is the most dangerous movement, the so-called one world religion, which is going on. And here, sometimes I have the impression that some churchmen in high positions, even inside the Vatican, unfortunately, are, by some words and gestures, promoting this movement towards the one world religion, to have only a religion of pure humanism. And the Holy See, the See of Peter, should be the first who will resist and must resist to this one world religion. And this is the task of the Pope and the bishops. And I hope that Pope and the bishops will again receive from God the apostolic courage to resist this one world new pagan religion.
Thank you. Thank you, because it was a burden. Because we are seeing now that it's ready in Abu Dhabi. The buildings are ready and everything is ready. And unfortunately, it's being pushed from inside the Vatican.